We are testing this live streaming.
I don't feel like editing another video right now. This is
brutally honest.
It's a lot easier. And we get to interact with you guys and see what is going on in your lives. We still have like 10 minutes or so before we're officially going to start, so
we just wait around with you.
Yes.
Non-existing people.
Yes.
At the moment.
Well, we're early. Better early than late.
So we have two options today, my friends. Either we are going to talk about absolutely nothing, or we do a live reaction video. About what? What's the video about?
I'm a ghost. So yeah, when you hop in, let us know you're there. Jump in the chat. We're excited to talk to you.
This is really, really new. I have no idea. There is two screens and this is not my computer. So I don't know what I'm looking at.
We went to a concert last night. It was really good. If you're not familiar with the artist Tash Sultana, Sultana, look it up.
Sultana. Her name is Tash Sultana. That's her name. She's my girlfriend. She doesn't know about it. My wife knows about it, so I feel it's okay.
Hula hoop.
Alla hoop.
Sultana.
Sultana, Schatzi, jetzt bitte.
That's the same.
Nee, it's not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Tasha, if you see this, let us know how you say the name. It's Sultana, not Sultana. And she's from?
New Zealand. Australia.
Oh my goodness, you are fired.
She's performing soon in New Zealand. I was a little confused.
Fired. Tash, did you hear that?
I don't think she did. She's actually performing right now, so she probably didn't hear that.
No, she's not yet. It's 6 o'clock. She came on stage at 9:20.
Anyway, the concert was really good.
It was awesome.
It was my first concert since I was 9 years old. When I was 9, the neighbor, my grandparents' neighbor, took me and their son to see Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson in concert. It was an amazing show. Yes. So that kind of set the standard for what I expect from a concert. She is not impressed. But for me, that was like the top. And I'm not a real big fan of crowds or like stadium amounts of people. So I wasn't too excited to go to another concert, but this one was a perfect venue. It may be able to hold 3,000 to 5,000 people, but I don't think there were that many there last night. The show was sold out.
I think it was that many.
I don't know.
It wasn't big, so wherever you were close to her or close to the stage. So that was awesome. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to so many concerts, but Sade was something. That was awesome. Michael Jackson, he was here in Germany in 92. That was, as far as I remember, it was good. And the rest, Jamiroquai, he was also good. He was fun. And a whole bunch of other artists, but she was next level. I don't know. She's 27 years old. I told her, I don't know where she's going to go. It's ridiculous. It's literally ridiculous. This girl.
It is, literally.
So,
we are 5 minutes from the official start. At that point, we are going to start our reaction portion of the video. We're going to react to a ghost video.
Slapped ham. What's so funny?
If they don't know what slapped ham is, you just slapped ham.
A lot of people know slapped ham. I don't know how many, what do you say, followers he has, but probably 1 million or 2 or 3. I don't know. He's good.
Maybe.
He has good videos.
Yeah.
So I win.
Do you want to?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right.
Let's do it. I'm ready. All right. Oh, we're watching it here.
Yeah.
Is it possible to conjure up ghosts simply with our minds? That was the question asked by a group of individuals from the Toronto Society of Psychical Research in the early 1970s. None of the members of the group were gifted with any supposed psychic or spiritual powers. Still, they were curious to see if they could conjure up a ghost by simply using their collective imagination and visualization. Lead researcher Dr. A.R. George Owen believed that ghosts were merely an illusion created by the mind, if the mind truly believed it to be so. To test Dr. Owen's theory, the group created a fictitious spirit named Philip. Philip was given a complete biography by the group, from his birth to his unfortunate death by suicide at the age of 30. The spirit was...
Wait a minute. So
They created him?
yes,
They created their own ghost, their own spirit.
that's what I understood. That's what,
Why would you do that?
to see if you did you not listen?
No.
To see if your imagination, if you can collectively in a big group
Conjure a
make
being.
up right. So
was born in the 1620s in England and was a knighted member of the military. One day he met and fell in love with a gypsy girl, beginning an affair with her. His wife discovered the affair and burned the girl at the stake.
Like,
damn. That's what I would do though.
you come home and she already knew about it, so she's sitting there in the kitchen making eggs or whatever they eat back then, potatoes, I assume. And she's like, oh yeah, and when we're done eating dinner, that little side piece you got, I'm gonna burn her at the stake.
Yeah.
Isn't there just a stake in the yard or what?
I mean,
It's like
yeah.
in the,
That's what I would do, Aisha.
but if
If
it's just like one person, is she not?
You mean it's not worth it for one person to light a fire? I mean, back
That's
then
a
they
lot.
didn't have lighters and stuff like that. So yeah, she had to go
But
like
to
this for
burn
one.
someone?
Yeah, man.
Like,
That's how they dealt with it back then. Let's go.
As a result, Philip ended his life, driven to death by sorrow.
Oh.
For the experiment, the group was seated around a table discussing Philip as well as visualizing him and his life. For months, absolutely
it up?
nothing occurred, though some group members swear that they could feel another presence among them. After a few months, the group decided to switch up the experiment by incorporating a more traditional seance scene, dimming the lights around them and placing their hands on a table. In doing
this looks like a LSD experimental team. Like, I'm pretty sure all of them were on something, because what kind of, hey, you know what we should do? We should conjure up a spirit. You want to do that? Yes, I do. Let's go.
The one in white, she's into it. The one next to it, she thinks it's a joke, but her hands are really, they look like...
She's tense. She's only there because she just started dating a dude.
That one, that's
Yeah.
that's why they all
Yeah.
smiley like.
But he's smiling
Hey,
because he's having an affair with the one in the white.
No,
She gonna burn her at the stake.
doing so, they hoped that Philip
Her
would
hand
speak to
looks
them
like
by
a-
either knocking on or rotating the table.
So,
Only when they changed the experiment up did they finally find some success. They asked Philip questions about his life, and the supposed spirit began to interact with the group. There was rapping on and vibrations of the table, as well as unexplained echoes and sudden gusts of air felt by the group. At one point, the table the group was sitting at levitated and moved across the room of its own accord.
yeah, good. I want to see that.
The experiment began to be filmed, and at one point there was a live taping of the group done in front of an audience of 50 people. A video on YouTube gives glimpses into the experiment, including snippets of the actual paranormal activity. In the video, uploaded by History vs. Hollywood on YouTube, viewers can
look at his hand. That's weird.
They are
see
not
the
even
group
touching
seated
it.
around
Oh,
the
yeah,
table, hands out, asking Philip questions.
You love Margot. Oh, yeah.
Say it
let's
again.
do it.
Did you lock Margot? Good.
At one point, a rapping sound can be heard in response to a question.
Did you like Dorothea?
That sounded like a knocking in the camera.
Following this,
like
the
someone
table
knocked
shakes
against
and
the
seems to
camera.
lift off the
Okay,
ground.
Whoever's recording that, you know.
The video
like
cuts
they're
to
shaking
another
a table
clip with the
together.
group standing up with their hands on the table, singing.
Is he a
Suddenly,
midget?
the table
I mean, is he a little person? I'm sorry if I offended anyone. He just looks rather short. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just need to have context.
Maybe he's on his knees, because he wouldn't have any knees like that. Look, I mean,
Maybe he doesn't have knees.
nah, shut.
That's
bitte.
not impossible.
Let's go.
completely tilts to
Oh.
the left, falling
Ah,
on
he
its
was on his
side.
knees. He's on his knees.
What is
Why
going
is he on his knees? Why are they singing?
Dr. Owen's wife, Iris Owen, explains that the group was very surprised when they first heard the knocking. The video then cuts to an interview with psychologist Dr. Joel Witten, who theorizes that the paranormal occurrences happen due to the collective belief and concentrated energy of the group.
The group is involved in a joint feeling of mutuality. Each member almost intuitively senses the other person and their feelings. Is it some type of concentration of energy?
The Philip experiment was met with both awe and criticism in its day. The main criticism lay in the fact that the experiment didn't have any control factors, as usually found in scientific experiments. Additionally, the scientific community remains hesitant to call seances trustworthy.
Where are we now?
There have been other groups who have tried to replicate the experiment, though usually to no avail.
Did you like Dorothea?
The Philip experiment may be just one mystery left unsolved.
That's
I
strange.
don't know why they're
though.
singing.
Because
In
they said
April
they
2016, a 7.3 magnitude earthquake hit Fukuoka, a city located in northern Kyushu Island, Japan. While the earthquake caused plenty of damage itself, it was what happened shortly after that left many residents scratching their heads. 90 miles from the epicenter of the earthquake appeared a thick foam that covered the streets.
What is that?
The State Puff Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters.
I literally thought you were gonna give me some solid information, like back in 1900 when I was in Korea. That's how they cleaned the roads. Because you know how they leave the trash everywhere, and every day the trash gets picked up. I don't know if it's like that there, but in Korea it was like that. You know, it looks like they were washing the roads. What is this guy's issue?
Residents walked and drove over the foam but had no idea where it emerged from. In some places, the mysterious foam was knee-high, making it hard to wade through. Other residents refused to leave their houses in fear of what the foam could be. Local first responders and authority figures tried to theorize where exactly the foam came from.
Strange.
Some believe the foam could have been derived from a busted pipe under the streets, though no cracks could be found in the streets which the foam could have leaked through. Others thought the foam could be from a firefighter's hose, though no foam was found in the hoses either, and the sheer size and breadth of which the foam
So we see. No one. I can take him.
Yeah.
And you stay here. You can talk to him, or
Yeah.
you wait, or you do whatever. Monkey, come.
Alright guys, we're gonna pause. Eve is taking Monty upstairs because he was waving, so we assume he wants to go outside. She's gonna take him outside, and I'll talk to you guys about life in Germany. So, where do I start? I've lived here now for 3 years. I haven't quite mastered the language yet, but I'm fine with that. I can get by with hands and feet, as they say, and it's all good. But some things that you have to get used to if you ever decide to live internationally is like the Americanisms, like small talk, everybody wants to get things done as quickly as possible. Everything is made for convenience, and most places are one-stop shop. You can get everything done within a reasonable amount of time. In Germany, it's a little different. So you go grocery shopping, it's a pretty quick process. You grab everything, usually you don't have a cart, you put it on a conveyor, and it's gone before you find your form of payment. It's an extremely quick process. I'll do another video about that later. But that's one thing. Another thing is they like to take lunch breaks here. So similarly to in Spain, where they siesta, they have a mid-tax pausa or a lunch break here every day from 11 to 1. So most offices you can't do any transactions with, which is weird because most people want to get stuff done on their lunch break. But if I'm on my lunch break and the place I need to go to is on a lunch break, I can't do it. So yeah, there's that. What else? Currently, we're waiting to see if I am allowed to stay in Germany. I've been here, like I said, 3 years. I am retired from the military, and I need to get permanent residence in Germany because this is our home now. So we'll let you know how that goes. And while we wait, I'm going to show you our random dog cam. Winnie. Okay.
I'm back. That's not what that was.
Ah.
I don't know what his issue is. Oh, he's playing now.
Foam covered made no sense either. Still today, the foam remains a complete mystery with no explanation given. What do you think this foam could be?
What do you think this foam could be?
I really think they were cleaning the roads.
Look at the amount of foam. Like, where would they... What kind of vehicle is able to put this much foam on the road and still move around without leaving trails all over the place?
Okay, if it splashes out the back, all you need for foam is water and some type of
The back of what?
soap. Huh?
The foam truck? So it was a pickup truck. And it had dish soap in the back. And it was somebody standing on top of it with a water hose. Trying to, like... No? Probably not.
To get your thoughts on this strange mystery in the comments section below. To this day, 80% of the ocean remains unexplored by mankind. This has left plenty of room for speculations and theories as to what mysteries are in the deep blue, just waiting to be discovered. One of these mysteries became known as the Baltic Sea anomaly. In 2011, the Swedish diving team named Ocean X came across an abnormal sonar image, leading to a baffling discovery, a sunken object that strikingly resembled a craft of some kind.
It looks like Pac-Man.
The object quickly became known as the Baltic Sea anomaly.
Looks like an elephant.
An elephant?
Yeah. Like, these are the legs.
Yeah.
And that's the trunk. Duh.
Anomaly, as it was discovered in the Baltic Sea between Sweden and Finland. The diving team described the object as having what looked to be man-made formations, including ramps and stairways. Scientists quickly began to come up with ideas to explain the strange object, including the idea that it was a geological formation created over thousands of years, possibly since the Ice Age. Samples taken from the object and examined by scientists concluded that the structure is made mostly of granites, gneisses, and sandstone. The object's discovery led to some controversy, as the tabloids began to create sci-fi fantasies of what the object could be. These fantasies included everything from being a flying saucer to the Millennium
I
Falcon.
didn't realize how big it
Scientists around the world were adamant that this
was. I didn't
and
know that
examined
was
by
like evil.
scientists concluded that the structure is made mostly
I was
of
thinking it
granites,
was like-
gneisses, and sandstone.
I don't know.
The object's
Obviously.
discovery led to some
Whoa. Now
controversy,
it's
as the
impressive.
tabloids began to create sci-fi fantasies of what the object could be. These fantasies included everything from being a flying saucer to the Millennium Falcon. Scientists around the world were adamant that this was nothing more than a simple rock formation blown out of proportion. The Ocean X diving team also eventually
What? How in nature would this rock formation come to be?
First of all, there are no straight lines in nature.
Right.
So,
No. Sorry, scientists, you're wrong.
came under fire, as they offered to take wealthy tourists down to the sea floor to see the object for themselves. The team also claimed that they were never able to capture
like
a
the
good
people that
photo
wanna
of
go
the
to
object
space.
due to technical difficulties.
To Mars.
Many believe the group have exaggerated what the anomaly really looks like in order to gain notoriety. Could this be the case, or has the mystery object blended in just well enough to escape deeper discovery? Over the years, there have been countless supposed alien sightings, with one of the most prominent occurring in early 1800s Japan. Whether it's simply a Japanese legend or a real recorded experience remains up for debate to this day. The event took place in 1803 in the Hitachi province of eastern Japan. A group of fishermen on the region's coast noticed a large ship drifting alone in the waters. Curious, the group towed the boat to shore to inspect it. The large boat resembled a wooden rice pit, with the upper half of the ship constructed of rosewood and the lower half of brazen plates. The strange ship was said to have windows made of crystal lined by an unknown resin. The fishermen decided to look inside the ship, where they saw inscriptions written in an unknown language.
Unknown language. Does that just mean they didn't know what language it was? If it's written in English, it's an unknown language to them.
yeah, they probably meant like, you see that?
Like hieroglyphics and stuff.
Whatever, yeah.
Unknown language.
Suddenly, they came across a peculiar figure, a beautiful woman somewhere between the ages of 18 and 20, with very pale pinkish skin, striking red hair. She was donning clothes that were unrecognizable to the group of Japanese fishermen. Furthermore, she spoke a language the group couldn't understand and held a box in her hand that she wouldn't let others go near. The villagers began to speculate as to who this woman could be, with one villager theorizing that the woman was a prominent figure in her homeland, wherever that may have been. He further speculated that she was cast away from her homeland after engaging in adultery, and inside the box that she so desperately protected was the head of her deceased lover.
Oh, wow.
The other
Japanese.
Wow.
Extreme. Like,
Make up a story, please.
it could
like,
have been
must
dead
be...
flowers.
I thought I was like, they're gonna come up with some... Wow.
The head of her
Deceased lover.
not diseased. Say it again. Deceased.
What'd I say?
Diseased.
Okay, whatever. See, ala hop and hula hoop.
villagers became terrified and decided
Oh,
to
you know
send
what I
the
wanna
woman
say
back
right
to
now.
her boat
I can't.
so she could drift away. This same story was recounted in 3 different texts over the years, with each text following the same themes of a strange boat that looked nothing like regular boats of the period, as well as a beautiful woman holding a mysterious box close to her. Plenty of Japanese and international researchers have tried to find an explanation for this story. Some believe that the drawings that accompanied the story portrayed what a typical Russian woman might have looked like at the time, including the description of her
Russians
hair and
again.
skin. Still, plenty of other individuals, including ufologists, believe the incident was an encounter with an alien species, and the boat was an unidentified craft of some kind. However, many Japanese individuals believe this story is simply a myth created in olden times to add to Japanese folklore. $1 million to demonstrate some paranormal activity. Talk about a good deal. While this isn't a mystery as such, it's well worth taking a look at. The $1 million Paranormal Challenge was initiated by the James Randi Educational Foundation in 1964 to any applicant who could perform paranormal or supernatural activity beyond a reasonable doubt. Over 1,000 people applied and every single one failed. James Randi, a prominent stage magician, believed that there was absolutely nothing magical about magic. It was simply a well-planned and put-together illusion. Upon hearing this claim, a parapsychologist challenged him to put money up against any potential paranormal challenger. Randi initially agreed to give out a $1,000 prize, but as the challenge grew in popularity, other organizations and individuals decided to join in on the fun, raising funds up to $1 million US. Until the challenge's discontinuation in 2015, applicants attempted to demonstrate many different kinds of skills and abilities, including medical dowsing, mediumship, and the use of performance-enhancing bracelets. One prominent psychic, Sylvia Brown, was challenged live on air by famous broadcaster and journalist Larry King to take the test. Brown accepted. On September 3, 2001, Brown and Randi appeared on Larry King Live once more, but Brown refused to take the test. Afterwards, Randi posted a timer on his website that recorded the number of days and weeks that had passed since Brown accepted the test but failed to follow through. A martial arts group based in Bali, Indonesia, known as Yellow Bamboo, claim one of their members, Pak Nyoman Seringan, can knock down approaching attackers from a distance using only a piece of yellow bamboo. Sketchy, low-resolution videos were posted to the group's website showing the alleged abilities. Here's some footage of the group's practices uploaded to YouTube by IET4C0S. Participants run at a practitioner who shouts and pushes them to the ground, allegedly by some sort of invisible force.
So, when they yell, they fall. That's what they practice.
No, it's not the yelling. It's the invisible force. That's what they said. It's like...
But if it's invisible, but you can hear it. Because the yelling is the force.
Volunteers working with the James Randi Educational Foundation agreed to travel to Bali and conduct initial testing on these abilities. However, the Yellow Bamboo group began making excuses as to why they couldn't participate. Eventually, James Randi called the whole experiment off. Out of the hundreds of applicants applying for the fund, none of the experiments were successful, though some critics disagreed with the sincerity of Randi's challenge, as the measurements of proving something was real without a doubt is hard to define. Still, the challenge was popular and remains a hot topic of conversation for paranormal fans around the world. Tina Resch's story seems too bizarre to be true, though sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. Tina's story starts in October of 1969. Just a few months after she was born, her mother brought her to the hospital and left her there, abandoning her. She was therein adopted by Joan and John Resch, who were physically abusive to her during her childhood. When she was 14, Tina watched the horror film The Poltergeist, and the alleged paranormal activity that would follow her for the rest of her life began. Shortly after watching the film, strange events started happening when Tina was near. These included flying objects around the house and things falling down from the walls. Parapsychologist William Roll decided to investigate the case and stayed in the Resch's house. Roll claimed that there were indeed telekinesis events in the house, but never when Roll was actually looking at the objects in question. Reporter Mike Harden and photographer Fred Shannon were also given access to the Resch household, but, like Roll, didn't see any paranormal activity until they looked away. Shannon attempted to take a picture with his camera while looking in a different direction and managed to capture one photo of the house telephone flying across Tina's lap.
She threw
Or
it.
she just threw it.
She threw it when he wasn't looking.
Still, many speculated that Tina was able to manipulate the objects while others were looking away,
Yeah.
probably because she was a young girl who craved attention. Subsequently, a video camera caught Tina knocking over a table lamp and screaming as if it happened in front of her, confirming many individuals' doubts about the paranormal activity. However, Tina Resh's story only gets stranger. As an adult, Tina was married and divorced twice and had one child. At age 3, Tina's child died. Both Tina and her then boyfriend were arrested and charged for murder, though Tina wasn't present when her daughter died. Still, Tina received a life sentence plus 20 years and remains in prison to this day. Tina didn't mention telekinetic activity during her trial, though perhaps such a tragic finale to such a bizarre life is no big surprise. Eerie screaming in the dead of night. It's a situation most of us have nightmares about at one point or another, but never really expect to actually experience in real life. For one Reddit user in Switzerland, Stix Zardinia, this terrifying situation became a reality during a stroll in the dark one unlucky evening. In the video, we see the ground where the camera operator is walking, a flashlight illuminating the path. A couple of seconds into the clip, we can already hear ear-piercing screams in the distance. The sounds continue to shriek as
Why would you keep going?
What is he supposed to do?
Walk away from the screams.
I don't think you can tell if you are in the woods. I don't think you can tell where the scream is coming from. Honestly,
You said in the distance. If you get closer to it, it's no longer in the distance.
the camera operator walks forward. The cameraman lifts the camera up where we can see the continued dark wooded path. Shortly after, the clip ends and the screams fade away and stop. The Reddit user included a disclaimer with the upload of the video, saying that the screams couldn't be from foxes, as the surrounding forest is allegedly fox-free. Still, most other Reddit users believe that the screams were that of animals, including the possibility of birds, coyotes, or bobcats. Some users noted that the way the camera operator walks casually suggests it probably wasn't the scream of children, or else he would have had a greater sense of urgency in his movements. Regardless, this video remains hotly debated, and a potentially true nightmare come to life. For most, a home means shelter and rest from the outside world, a place where we can fully relax from our pending responsibilities. This is not...
I'm sorry, but these houses, I know it's an American thing. Americans like these older, not this one now, but you know, older houses.
Mm-hmm.
They scare everything out of me. I don't understand.
Yeah, but in Germany, the houses have been here for 500 years. The same house. That's not scary. That's scary.
These, like when they get like those alte Plantagen.
Old plantations.
Yeah. When they, you know, like, and,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God, and they're in the middle of nowhere and they drive by. I love this house, and it's still furniture inside from the 1800s, and like, ooh, I love it. This old flair.
Not the case for YouTuber Sabia L, an apartment renter in the Netherlands. Her home recently became a place where relaxing has become downright impossible. Instead, all she feels is terror.
Vorige keer was daar
The first video the YouTuber shared to the site shows several instances of possible paranormal activity. In the clip, Sabia L shows us her kitchen before moving to her living room.
Goodbye. Burn it down.
Suddenly, there's a banging sound, and the YouTuber pans the camera up. We can see the ceiling lamp eerily swinging back and forth, all on its own.
What the f? Oh my god.
Soon after, the kitchen lights begin to flicker on and off.
I'm not waiting and recording. I'm gone. Where's the door?
The YouTuber slowly walks
Somebody's
back into the
doing that.
kitchen, and we can now see that all the cupboards and drawer doors have been opened.
Because I think that door connects to the other side, so they can walk out either the back door or the kitchen. Hold on.
There's no door.
She
But
then
there's a
leaves the
back door.
kitchen, walking back towards the living room. There's another banging sound from the
Because the
kitchen, and
same
she
person
whips
could've
the
hit the
camera
wall.
around. This is where something truly eerie is caught on camera. Take a look.
Oh. Someone's gonna peek around the corner.
If we take another look, you can see a terrifying black shadow peeking out from behind the kitchen entrance.
Oh, yeah.
I got goosebumps. It's see-through. Oh, look
In
at
the
that
second
goosebumps.
video, we're back in the YouTuber's living room. For the first 30 seconds or so, nothing out of the ordinary happens,
Da war doch was.
until suddenly the ceiling light begins to swing. "30 seconds after this, the curtains in the living room begin to move all on their own.
There's no one there. You can't see anything.
The window's open though. What?
Moments later, the YouTuber turns the camera to the kitchen. Watch what happens.
What's this does?
Somebody threw something.
As you can see, a bottle is suddenly thrown into the living room.
This,
The reaction is almost too.
The uploader
outright
walks straight into the
scream.
kitchen, but
like,
there's no one
how
there.
would she know to look at the kitchen?
She walks around making sure the doors to the apartment are locked,
And she's a
proving no
YouTuber.
one could have snuck in or out during the clip.
But that door is locked.
Yeah, but they could have the key.
The videos have been viewed by thousands of people, causing a stir in the paranormal community. Many viewers believe in the authenticity of the videos, hoping that the YouTuber is finding a way to deal with the paranormal presences, or even encouraging her to move.
If it was me and I saw that wallpaper, I would have never moved in there. Like, no. Who is... No. No.
No, I'm not waiting around. If something like
Into
this
a new
happened
home.
here, I would not.
A common suggestion by many
Get
has
the
been that the
camera out,
apartment
yeah.
get blessed by a holy person such as a priest. Whatever the YouTuber decides to do, hopefully she does so
fuck,
quickly
no.
before things get much more sinister.
Goodbye for good. I'm grabbing underwear. Oh my god.
Grab my underwear.
Sometimes getting a bad haircut can be scary in and of
underwear.
itself. But what
Yeah,
about
yeah.
when alleged
I'm
paranormal
leaving.
activity
New
also gets
underwear.
involved
Grab
during the
underwear.
experience? That's exactly what happened in one barbershop as uploaded
Oh,
by
these-
GQ Cuts on YouTube. The video begins.
These security camera footage thingies, I believe those. I don't know. You know, they're it's not because sometimes there's something happening in a room, and people happen to have the camera right there, like right before it happens. That doesn't make sense. But these.
With a brief explanation that the barbershop recently had security cameras installed inside.
Kind of glad we did.
We
that.
then see
Yeah.
footage from the security camera of the barbershop during the day.
That
One barber cuts the hair of a
I
woman
don't
while
know.
another worker stands
I
by
feel
the
like
desk
something's
and
gonna
another
happen.
customer waits nearby.
Achtung.
Nothing seems amiss at first, until about 30 seconds later. On the right side of the video, we can see something odd taking place.
Oh,
Take
I'm
a
getting
look.
goosebumps. The thing is moving.
The ceiling fan?
Oh.
As you can see, a blue cloak begins to slowly lift up, seemingly
I didn't
by
see
itself.
That. I saw it on the right side. I didn't see that. Oh my god.
It continues to rise, and the customer behind the desk suddenly jolts up in fear, quickly walking away from the desk. The employees ask him what's wrong, and the customer explains that the cloak just moved.
Yep, walk away. Walk away. He
That's what I
said,
would do.
The employees
Hell no.
disregard it, but the customer continues to claim it happened.
That might be the window.
Now, while all this is going on,
was
something
not-
else happens in the background that falls in the category of inexplicable. Have a look. If we play it back, we can see a mannequin head resting on a shelf. It starts to turn and face the customer.
They set that up. They're pranking
The
it.
customer then leaves and the clip
But I
ends
told you
shortly
something
after.
was gonna
Yeah.
happen with that head.
But that's not right.
There are some characteristics of the video that have made some viewers suspicious that it's all just a hoax,
Yeah.
such as the barber's grin towards the security camera at the very end of the video. Some believe the video could just be a prank pulled to raise publicity for the barbershop, while others think this is paranormal activity caught right in action. But what do you think's going on here? Let us know in the comment section below.
It pulled back.
And then the head tip. It could be on a mechanism.
Spending time with friends usually means having good times and forming fun memories together. But what about when those times go from fun to downright horrifying? That may have been what occurred to one group of friends when spotting a creepy figure in the distance. This eerie clip was sent to us by one of our viewers, Bianca. Viewers see a group of friends hanging outside under blankets, chatting with one another. One of the friends pulls out his iPhone and checks the weather, discussing the temperature. This goes on for another minute or so, until the camera operator moves the camera around, where viewers can see a house in the distance. Watch what they caught on camera. Viewers can see two large yellow eyes peeking out from the doorway of the home.
That could be anything.
The eyes look like they're part of a larger yellow-brownish head.
It looks like
The camera operator turns the camera back in a panic and the video suddenly ends. The large eyes and peculiar shape of the figure certainly resemble an alien-like creature. The figure's grilling stare is also particularly haunting, almost as if it's stalking the boys. So, is this an intruder spying on the boys, or something a little more mysterious? Let us know your thoughts down below.
Das war nix, oder?
Yeah.
It's probably just a lamp or I don't know, something. Yeah, it looks a little bit weird if you look. It would scare me, but I would be like, it's I don't know, grandma's lamp. Oder?
Maybe. But I think not.
You think it's something?
I think it's something hanging on the door. Like, I think it's an inside door.
It would seem an apparent haunting can happen at any time and anywhere. Popular YouTubers Mighty Car Mods have become one of the biggest sources of debate for paranormal fans recently, thanks to various sightings in their car workshop. In the first of 4 clips with potential paranormal activity, we see 2 men sitting in a car hooked up to a computer to monitor system stats.
You just wanted the noise, that's it? Done, let's go home.
They chat casually about the results, when suddenly something very strange can be seen outside of the driver's window. Take a look.
It has so far made 22 kilowatts.
If we take another look, a nearly transparent white figure appears for a few moments before fading away.
It has so far made 22 kilowatts.
Upon closer inspection, it seems the figure has the face of a ghostly woman.
It has so far made 22 kilowatts.
In the second video, the YouTubers are working on a car engine. Keep an eye on the background.
When you put a lot of energy into something, we actually love it. Like, this car is actually freaking...
As we can see, an engine crane begins to move very slowly, seemingly all on its own.
actually love it. Like, this car is actually freaking...
It creeps to the side before stopping for a moment, starting again until stopping a few seconds later.
It's worth saying as well that this issue that we have is the same thing that would happen if you actually didn't have any oil.
The third clip finds the two men standing next to a car talking to the camera. All of a sudden, a large wooden block in the background slides forwards and falls to the ground.
It's going to be excellent. So, let's get to work, people. It's going to be...
One of the men freaks out, asking the alleged paranormal presence, "What do you want and why?"
Excellent. So, let's get to work, people. It's going to be...
No.
What do you want? Is going on? What do you want from us? Seriously?
Grilling stare to monitor system. As we can see, an engine crane begins to move very slowly, seemingly all on its own.
I actually love it. Like, this car is actually freaking...
It creeps to the side before stopping for a moment, starting again until stopping a few seconds later.
So we can fix it. It's worth saying as well that this issue that we have is the same thing that would happen if you actually didn't have any oil.
The third clip finds the two men standing next to a car talking to the camera. All of a sudden, a large wooden block in the background slides forwards and falls to the ground.
It's going to be excellent. So, let's get to work, people. It's going to be...
One of the men freaks out, asking the alleged paranormal presence, "What do you want and why?"
Excellent. So, let's get to work, people. It's going to be... What do you want? Is going on? What do you want from us? Seriously?
The fourth video finds the same two men standing near a car and talking, with another man in the background leaning over the engine. In the top left of the video, we can see a box sitting on a mezzanine. It slowly inches forward until it completely falls off and topples to the ground.
Turbocharger was spinning. It's getting oil, but we've actually got to make it run.
One of the hosts states, "That was weird."
We've actually got to make it run. That was weird. We've actually got to make it run properly, and that's why Dave's here.
The debate on these videos remains hot with many viewers. Some believe that some of the activities can be explained via a string or a person hidden off camera, manipulating the moving objects. Others think something more mysterious is afoot. For instance, some believe that the engine crane is way too heavy to be moved by a simple string.
Issue that we have is the same thing that would happen if you actually didn't have...
But what do you think? Are these car shop owners having a bit of fun, or is their shop genuinely haunted?
It has so far made 22 kilowatts.
Slaptown viewer Mega Squirrel 64 Gamer sent in a video that captured something completely spine-chilling right next to his mother in their living room. In the provided video, there's an explanation by the narrator that a ghost was caught on live camera. The footage was captured via their doorbell camera as they received a package. The video cuts to the footage in question, where we can see a woman, the uploader's mother, sitting on a couch.
What is sitting next to her?
Our viewer claims they have no idea who the spooky figure is sitting right next to her.
Oh my god, I saw
See
it right
this
away.
weird looking figure on the right.
Why would she stay there?
The figure seems to have a greyish face and is wearing a dark robe.
Oh.
The video then cuts to a shot from further away, where we see the viewer's father opening the front door with his mother, and the creepy figure is sitting in the background.
Now, as you can see, when he moved, it was still right there.
The uploader further explains that his sister was in the kitchen and he...
Oh, that did it. That did something to my inside, to my heart.
was upstairs, so there's no way to explain the figure as being a family member in disguise.
I was upstairs, and my dad was doing a package. Who was that?
The clip is played once again in slow motion and with a close-up on the unknown entity before the video ends.
I really cannot tell.
The fact that the spooky figure is sitting so close to the narrator's mother makes this video both extra bizarre and frightening all the same.
Can she
One
not see
viewer
it?
brought up the possibility of the figure actually being a demon hiding under a robe. Others thought perhaps it's a mannequin or a pile of clothing that just happens to look spooky.
No.
No.
Give this clip another view and judge for yourself.
I'm good. We can stop here.
Going hunting.
No, I'm good. No.
One more.
No.
Come on, one more.
Mm-mm. No, that's enough. I will have nightmares if we continue to watch anything that could possibly be real. No. Mm-mm. I'm good.
So I do the ghost videos by myself.
Yes. If you guys like ghost reactions and that type of stuff, I will coordinate. I will not participate. Yes.
Okay. Do you want to do something else? Or should we end this
We
for
should.
now?
I think it was a good practice round. If you watch this on replay, let us know what you think, what other types of content you want to see, and if we can coordinate a better time to have more participation, we will provide content based on your comments. So,
Pea Pods, it's time to separate for today.
peace out, Pea Pods.
See y'all later. What?
Shoot 'em.
You guys ready?
All right.
Okay, Pea Pods.